We are in our back to school series. This is episode 1 of the back to school series. And you might be like, oh, where are all the tools for my classroom? And we're like, no, that's not what this is.
Not yet.
Actually, my 4-year-old pre-K superstar, Patrick, once said, in a community, first you have to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else.
Yeah.
And in this episode, we are going to be talking about you, capital Y-O-U.
Yes.
You, so that you can sustainably do this work, so that you can sustainably take care of yourself, and so that you can sustainably thrive in this profession. We do not want this to be another year of survival.
No.
We want this to be a year of thriving.
And it's not the one more thing on the to-do list. It really does belong as the foundation of anything else that you do stepping forward as you're moving back into school.
And it starts with you taking care of yourself and sustainably doing this work throughout the year.
Let's just take small steps, one at a time, to get ourselves into our best state.
Yeah.
To start that first day.
I can't wait. It's back to school time.
Oh, it always does sneak up on us, doesn't
so
it?
Fast.
I know the school supplies are back in the stores.
Backpacks are bought.
Oh my gosh, the commercials are all over the television. Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, how are you feeling, Beth?
I am nervous, but also really excited.
I call that scare-sighted.
I am scare-sighted.
It's literally how we all feel, students and teachers, at the beginning of the school year. We're both excited with anticipation and scared out of our minds what's about to unfold.
Yeah, and it does. I think it's that heavy load of responsibility of knowing that you're walking into the unknown.
Yeah.
For teachers is a heavy lift.
Yeah, and I remember, especially in my initial years of teaching, just kind of this fear of, oh my gosh, this means I'm going to feel so stressed, so overwhelmed again, so anxious, and just like, knowing that burnout was around the corner.
Yeah, inevitable. Yeah.
And literally not thinking about myself at all.
No.
I was thinking about what lesson plans am I going to make for my students? What practices do I need to integrate into my instruction? What PD do I need to attend? What materials do I need to buy? Like, there was no me in that equation.
Getting sad just hearing you say that. I physically remember the sensation. It's like Sunday scaries on steroids, right at the beginning of the school year. But I think, and for those of you that joined us in our summer restorative episode, you've been working and you might be in a place where I am right now, where that is not, yes, the nervousness is there, but none of that, oh no, nonsense is happening anymore. You know, if we can and do prioritize self first and have tangible, reachable things that we can do for that, some of that does melt away. It's never totally gone. We are walking into an unknown chemistry experiment every year. We never know what it's going to be.
And there is work that we can do to enhance our physical, our mental, our emotional well-being, to connect more deeply to our purpose.
Yeah.
And it's through embodying these 5 layers of human intelligence that we actually can fill our cups up, not just in the beginning of school, but sustainably throughout the year. And that's what this episode is about. We are in our back to school series. This is episode 1 of the back to school series. And you might be like, oh, where are all the tools for my classroom? And we're like, no, that's not what this is.
Not yet.
Actually, my 4-year-old pre-K superstar, Patrick, once said, in a community, first you have to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else.
Yeah.
And in this episode, we are going to be talking about you, capital Y-O-U.
Yes.
You, so that you can sustainably do this work, so that you can sustainably take care of yourself, and so that you can sustainably thrive in this profession. We do not want this to be another year of survival.
No.
We want this to be a year of thriving. And it starts with you taking care of yourself and sustainably doing this work throughout the year.
That's right. And it's not the one more thing on the to-do list. It really does belong as the foundation of anything else that you do stepping forward as you're moving back into school.
And you and I know this from our own experience in the classroom. I mean, when I was in those stressed and overwhelmed days, like I was on the couch horizontal crying. I mean, it was so stressful. And it was when I started to learn these mind-body wellness practices and to take deep breaths and to go to a yoga or meditation class and to nurture myself with friends and community and to recognize that in taking care of myself in these ways, I was a better teacher.
Yeah.
And my kids saw it. They're like, Miss Ilana, did you not take care of yourself today? I'm like, oh, oopsies, can we breathe together? You know, it's so real.
Yeah, they'll call us out. No, it's true. And we are truly a population of, we're a very deserving population, and we are a population that tends to overgive. We know this. Compassion fatigue is real.
Yeah.
But just because it's real doesn't mean it's inevitable.
Yeah.
So let's build from the bottom up.
Yeah.
And let's start the school year off prioritizing self, not a selfish thing.
Nope.
Truly foundational. And let's just take small steps, one at a time, to get ourselves into our best state.
Yeah.
To start that first day.
I can't wait. And in our master's program, we've developed what we call our human intelligence framework, which you know all too well.
I know it.
And it consists of 5 layers, which we are going to walk you through today. It's our 5 layers of our human experience, right? Somatic intelligence, which is our intelligence of the body. Oh, so important. We have emotional intelligence. We've got cognitive intelligence. We've got relational intelligence and universal intelligence, our connection to something bigger than ourselves, our purpose. And our intention today is to really set you up with so many different practices and tools that you can draw on now, tomorrow, the next day, the next week, the next month, and this whole school year so that you can sustain your well-being and so that you can show up so fully and authentically as who you are, who you want to be. And that's going to have huge ripple effects for your kids and for your communities. And don't you worry, the next episodes will be all about all the different strategies that you can implement into your classroom, into your staff meetings, into your community to enhance collective well-being, to improve educational outcomes. But where this all starts, and we know it, it's about ourselves. That's why the theory of change at Breathe for Change starts with transformation of self.
Yeah. And the time will come. We'll bring it outwards. But yeah, for now, we've got to prioritize self.
Yes. And I think we so often tend to neglect the body. And what did you think when we first introduced somatic intelligence into the human intelligence framework?
Oh, interesting. Do you know, I think, well, for me, that was one of the most healing aspects of my training. Before you even designed all of this into that beautiful container of human intelligence, getting on a yoga mat into my body, doing the mindful movement practices that we were so readily taught was deeply healing for me. So when you rolled that out, having that be step number 1 made absolute sense to me, because that is our most primal access point to what it is to be human.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about, the human experience and how we can truly design our own human experience.
Yes.
And it does. Of course, it begins with the body.
And all of the practices that we are going to walk you through today, you can use both proactively and responsively in your life and in your teaching. What I mean by that is you can use them proactively, aka you can proactively integrate them into consistent routines. So maybe you wake up in the morning and you immediately do one of the practices that we are about to teach you. Or maybe every day at lunchtime, the energy is high, you're exhausted, you need a little booster, you draw on this practice consistently. So you can use all these practices proactively, but you can also use them responsively. What I mean by that is you can use them in response to heightened moments of stress or tension or exhaustion that you may be experiencing, right? Mm-hmm. Those are moments that you don't plan for, you don't put them into your routine, but they happen.
We recognize and we respond.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I think we should start with the basics.
Yeah, I think 3 collective breaths.
Yes.
That tends to be where we go.
3 collective breaths, y'all. And we literally mean 3 breaths.
Yep.
Should we do it together?
Let's do it together.
Okay, lead us.
Okay, let's all just find however you would like to show up today. If you're behind the wheel of a car, stay there. You can still do this practice. But if you really want to go inward, you can ground your feet down. You can stretch up through that spine. Hands can find the heart or the belly or the lap. Eyes can even close if it is safe to do so. And let's just breathe together. Deep inhale here. And exhale. Deep breath in. Full breath out. And maybe the biggest breath of your day here. Inhale. And out with an audible sigh. There we have it. Practice number 1.
Practice number 1. And we could have chosen, any of the hundreds of practices, like from our master's program for this, initial foundational practice. But y'all, just take a moment and notice how you feel after those 3 collective breaths.
Yeah.
For me, my whole body feels calmer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel more centered, grounded.
Brain is clearer.
Yeah.
And this one is so accessible. This one I frequently do before I even lift my head off the pillow, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's just bringing your attention inside the body to your breath and taking 3 intentional breaths. And y'all, that takes like 10 seconds.
Yeah. And it sets the pace for the rest that's to come.
And when educators come to me, they go, gosh, Ilana, I want to do these practices, but I just don't have time. I'm like, oh, y'all, this buys you back time.
Yeah.
If you, for yourself, not even thinking about teaching this yet,
no,
we'll get there. But if you just, like Beth said, wake up, do your 3 collective breaths, go to your classroom before the students step into that door, right before you open that door, take 3 collective breaths.
That's so beautiful.
In transition. Do your 3 breaths again. Mm-hmm. It can make a profound difference.
Yeah, it's a simple reset, but it has extraordinary benefit.
And again, in those heightened moments of stress, right? A fight breaks out, some tragedy surfaces in your classroom, something really makes you anxious. Then in that moment of like, you can take 3 collective breaths again. It'll bring you right back into your body.
And but I do want to make a very strong point that the more you are actively practicing, the more regular that becomes, the more accessible it becomes to you as a response mechanism too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You'll immediately just take your 3 collective breaths when you're stressed.
It's almost as if it finds you in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So 3 collective breaths all day, every day, draw on it, and, share it with your loved ones, share it with whoever it is in your life. Like, if you are embodying this, people will see.
Yes.
Like, part of embodiment is just doing it in front of people. Like, we're not talking about teaching it, but you're modeling.
Correct.
How to take care of yourself in the moment.
Mm-hmm. And what a beautiful gift.
What a beautiful gift.
Yeah, but again, starts with the self.
Starts with the self. And another practice that we have found can fundamentally change your day every day and sustain the sense of being that you aspire to show up as in the world is an intention setting practice.
Love it.
And I highly recommend that as you start the school year, like literally every single day, beginning of day practice, you take your 3 collective breaths and you can build on that. You can ask yourself, what is my intention for how I want to show up today. Who do I want to be today?
How do I want to feel today?
What energy do I want to bring? That's an intention setting practice.
Absolutely.
And you just find one word that represents that intention. Maybe it's what?
Playful.
Maybe it's focused. Maybe it's
intentional.
Maybe it's caring. You know, it can be any which way, and it's going to change every day. But just finding your word to begin your day, that has a huge impact, because then what happens is you're off, you're stressed, a bunch of things are happening, and then you notice, bring your mindful awareness to, oh, I'm feeling frustrated. Okay, what was my intention today? Oh, it was to be calm. Okay, let me just take a few breaths to come back. Or it was to be playful, but I'm being all serious. Bring some play back in.
Yeah, it's that beautiful anchor that holds us to account.
Yes.
Right? We can hold ourselves to account with a simple word.
Yeah. So you do your 3 collective breaths, you set your intention. If you want to add some movement to like help integrate and embody that intention, that can be incredibly powerful, whether it's like hands on heart if it's compassion, or like pump it up if it's like high energy.
Or a big smile on the face if it's joy.
Oh, yeah. So just that practice can be incredibly powerful. And should we try that on?
Let's do it as a full practice altogether integrated.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love it.
All right. So I invite you all to just find a comfortable position. And again, this is a practice that you can cultivate day in, day out, right when you wake up, or whatever time in your morning makes the most sense to you. So turn inward. And if you're, again, moving through the world, walking, driving, you can still do this with your awareness out in the world. But can you at least connect inside? If you'd like, you can close your eyes. And let's just start with those 3 beautiful collective breaths. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Again, inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Out with a huge sigh. Beautiful. Now, bring your hands over your heart if you can. And I invite you to set your intention. So consider, what energy do you want to embody today? How do you want to show up? Who do you want to be? Another way to think about it is, how do you want to feel? And just find that one precious word that describes, that represents your intention. Maybe it's calm, maybe it's grateful, present, joyful, playful, strong, brilliant, courageous, something else. Finding your intention, and then breathe that intention into your heart. Exhale, release. And now bringing some sort of movement to embody this intention. It can be a high energy movement, maybe it's more grounding, but something that allows you to start to cultivate this energy within. And whenever you feel ready, if your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. Oh, it's so beautiful seeing your palms facing up.
Yeah.
What was your intention?
My intention was presence. I love the time that I get to spend with you.
It's the best.
It doesn't happen frequently.
I know.
And so
you live in Montana and I live in San Francisco.
Distance is real. But it just, so I want
makes the heart grow fonder.
It does. I just want to soak up every minute. I want to be fully present in the short amount of time that I have with you. And I didn't know how I was going to embody that. My hands almost just found that. And I find when my hands are pointed up. It's just it's up and open, and
like
it just
receiving.
felt present.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. It was interesting because mine was gratitude for a similar reason, or feeling grateful, being grateful. And I saw you put your hands on your thighs with your palms up, and I just immediately went there with you. It was so sweet. And then I brought my hands to my heart because I'm like, oh, I'm just so grateful to be in your presence.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's something very connective clearly about that, because even though we are doing this work for ourselves, right? I was totally in myself.
Yeah.
But it showed me that one of the things I'm needing right now is this integration with other humans, right? And so, like, I just want to point out that just because we are focusing on the self doesn't mean we're doing this work in isolation.
100%. And in fact, I do this practice every single morning, and I do it with my babies. It's so sweet. So we do gratitude at night, and then we set our intention in the morning. And Aaliyah really, at this point, she's 4 years old. She gets it.
Yeah.
Like, she has the language for it.
Yes.
And sometimes she'll even say more than one word. She'll be like, my intention today is to be grateful, inspiring, and calm. I'm like, how is this even possible? You're 4. This is incredible. But with the daily practice the emotional vocabulary, it develops. It develops.
Yeah.
And to your point about the social aspect of this, you can do your daily practice, and then it's so powerful to share your intention with a loved one.
Yeah. Go
to your friend, your partner, your kids at home, whoever in your life, and you can say, I really want to show up, in a inspiring way today. I really want to be focused. I really want to be present with you today. And I felt so connected to you when you shared your intention with me. So it is a really connective process. And if you feel that inkling inside you as you're engaging in this daily practice to share it, it has even more ripple effects than you doing it alone in your own space.
And another way that we can ripple this out or make it more powerful, we just introduced maybe a beginning of the day practice where we move through that to start our day, to get off on the right foot, start moving in the right direction with full intention. We love to add on in Breathe for Change to do some reflective work, some coming back and looking back into this beginning of the day practice. So we might do a middle of the day practice where we come back in, we maybe breathe again, we come back to that anchor word that we decided on.
And we reconnect.
And then we can embody again.
Yes.
Right? And even if nothing happened, we weren't on board with that word, I was not
being grateful.
I wasn't present from that beginning point. I dropped it until I hit that midpoint. Well, guess what?
I can be now.
Now I get to choose it again now. And then I get to physically embody it again. And that's now I've had it twice. And then we can revisit again at the end of the day. And again, even if time and space got in between, that's okay. We're human, and this is practice, right?
Yes.
These are not performances we're teaching. These are practices we are teaching.
And what I've noticed from doing this with my kids is that when you actually do the end of day practice, a lot of times what happens is it ends up being this like gratitude practice of, oh, I'm so proud of myself because I asked a friend for something that I was scared to ask her for. And it's like about the intention, or, if her intention was to be calm, she might tell me that when she was practicing being calm, she did this whole art project and then share it with me. So it becomes like a reflective moment where you're surfacing all of these precious experiences throughout the day where we get to celebrate the fact that we were living this a little bit, even if it was just in a moment.
That's right. And with that reflection, it's just, we know this is how learning happens.
Yeah.
And so the more we can revisit, the easier it will get. And the more lived that experience will become.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So 3 collective breaths, and then your beginning, middle, and end of day practice. Again, that's really about the intention that you want to live into for the day.
Yeah, we really can choose.
Totally.
We really get to choose.
And I really recommend just doing it. starting today.
Absolutely. Why
and
not?
Then tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And wow, makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Before you know it, you will have been choosing your entire school year.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, both of these practices really help us connect to the body.
Yes.
But we also, in our curriculum, have a huge emphasis on emotional intelligence, right? Yeah. Somatic and emotional intelligence, the intelligence of our body and emotions, they are deeply interconnected.
Absolutely.
If you feel something emotionally, likely the sensations in your body are going to align with that feeling and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And there's still really powerful practices that we can do within each of these layers to strengthen our competency in, for example, one of the layers of emotion or of human intelligence, which is emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite practices for just cultivating emotional awareness is the 2-word check-in.
The 2-word check-in is a beautiful one.
Gosh, it's the best. So often we don't even take moments throughout our day to check in and notice how we feel.
No. And in fact, in not doing that, we allow our emotions to become the drivers of our behavior.
To run the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without us having intention behind that. It's great for emotions to drive our experiences if we have a conscious awareness.
If we are responding to them, not reacting to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the 2-word check-in is a practice where you literally just take a moment, and you can do this as I'm sharing this with you. You take a moment, just turn your attention inward, and just notice how you feel. And then just find 2 words, just 2 words, that describe the vibe of what is happening inside you right now. Just 2 simple words. When you've got your 2 words, if your eyes are closed, you can open them, just all come back into the space. And
I'm joyful and excited just for being here. Yeah.
I'm inspired and connected.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
And this is another one, much like you were talking about with the girls, this is a great one to begin to expand that emotional vocabulary. And
for sure,
your little ones are so lucky to have parents who are keenly aware of the power of instilling these vocabularies. A lot of us grew up without that.
I mean, yeah.
And so this is a great practice for those of us that want a little bit more freedom, that want a little bit more empowerment there, that we can get in and we get to give that to ourselves. We don't have to wait for someone to give it to us. And so this is a great place to start to build that tool for ourselves.
For sure. And one thing I just want to name is we're feeling inspired and joyful and happy and all the things right now.
Yeah.
All emotions are welcome.
Yeah.
And this is a practice that we continue to come back to, and we encourage you to do day after day so you can have that moment to check in with yourself. And sometimes you're going to feel sad and scared.
That's right.
Sometimes you're going to feel depressed and, angry. Sometimes you're going to feel joyful. Sometimes you're going to feel grateful. The beauty of this practice is that you get to experience and fully accept and fully embody and live and honor emotions across the entire spectrum.
And do you know what's interesting about that too, is that they have done some studies about when we allow our emotions to be fully experienced and expressed in the moment, even and especially when it's one of those more what we would call uncomfortable emotions. If we fully stay present with that emotion, it will process and leave the body within 90 seconds. If we don't, it can stay embodied for up to 7 years.
Well, and this is why at Breathe for Change, we've, I believe, fully expanded the definition of emotional intelligence. Up to this point, Dan Goleman and all these incredible experts in the field have done so much work to surface and prioritize the importance of emotional intelligence. But it's really been about being aware of and managing or regulating emotions.
Right.
And at Breathe for Change, we're like, wait a second, that is only part of it.
Yep.
Our emotions have so much wisdom in them. And when we actually listen to our emotions and we listen to what it is that they're communicating to us, there's some serious guidance there that can support us. And so whether we're experiencing shame or fear or frustration or guilt, it's so critically important that we have an empowering relationship with all emotions across the spectrum. And that's why the final competency in our curriculum of emotional intelligence is wholeness. Having an empowering relationship with all emotions. Imagine if every child grew up learning, literally being taught how to have an empowering relationship with all emotions. My emotions, your emotions, all emotions.
Yeah, that there is an appropriate time and space for every single one of them.
Right.
Inside every single one of us.
Yes. And the 2-word check-in is the first step to that. It's awareness. It's if I am aware that today I feel shame, tomorrow I feel joy, the next day I feel excited and nervous, you name it. It's like that's the first step to wholeness is recognizing, okay, it's okay if I feel these ways.
Yeah.
How do I embrace that?
And we can even use that tool to expand further and use it as expressively too with the people that we are living with, the people that we are interacting with to say, this is how I'm showing up right here, right now. And it's a beautiful access point for communion there too.
And we're not necessarily saying stay in this emotion forever. In fact, I would argue that another beautiful practice that can support us emotionally is affirmation.
Yes.
Right? When that itty bitty shitty committee turns on inside our head and says, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you'll never be loved, you're not working hard enough, you don't deserve this.
Old programming
that we're not interested in.
Nope.
If you notice that, like these messages, these beliefs that we have about ourselves.
And we all have them.
We're human, right?
Yeah.
These literally shape the way we show up in the world.
Yes.
And we have the power to shift these stories that we have about ourselves. And that's what affirmation can do, which is another practice that we want to add to your toolkit. And this is literally coming up with a new belief, a new message to yourself about yourself that is supportive, that is empowering, and that is going to allow you to thrive in this moment.
You bet.
And so what's a disempowering story that you've been working with lately?
Fear. I've had some fear, and noticing just in a few different areas in life.
Where's it coming from?
Well, the health scares and wondering, being back to school, I am wondering whether or not I will have the capacity to hold the stress that I know is coming my way. And that is old messaging because I had an incredible year last year.
Yeah.
I had no physical scares. I had none of that.
Cancer-free.
I stayed fully cancer-free, full remission throughout it. And I had an incredible year in a brand new job that I did not yet know how to do.
Yeah,
so it's like there is far less stress stepping into this year, but that old mindset is revisiting. So again, it's a perfect opportunity to say, yes, I can. Of course I can.
Is that your affirmation?
I think that's it. Of course I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course I can.
Yeah. How about you? Where's your limiting belief right now?
My limiting belief, since I was a little girl, is always like, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
So my way of dealing with that is like just performing, achieving, doing all the things. Overperforming.
Yes.
Doing all the things,
People pleasing. Dance, monkey, dance.
Yeah, exactly. My life.
Oh, boy.
And, that survival mechanism, so to speak, of overachieving. There's so many benefits that have surfaced from it. And Breathe for Change wouldn't exist, right? I wouldn't have gotten my PhD. I wouldn't have done all these things. And
you burned out.
When that limiting belief is the actual root of those actions, right?
You burn out and you never get to experience it.
I never get to experience it. I'm thinking about what's next. This isn't enough. I got to do more.
That's right.
And it's like, I have slowly been starting to learn to like be in the moment and see the miracle in the moment. And I think that was exacerbated by my 44-foot fall last year of just like,
Yes.
I'm in awe that I'm alive. And so that helped with that limiting belief. But I think I want to actively choose this school year to have the affirmation and the belief that I am perfect just the way I am.
That's exactly
I'm
right.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's it.
And that probably is the underlying belief in just about every human, right?
Yeah.
That's that stuck ego function of
For
never
sure.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's
so
beautiful.
for those of you listening, I hope that, in the next few minutes, you can even think to yourself, like, what is that message that you have for yourself that's going to allow you to see yourself the way people who love you see you?
Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid to actually look at that limiting belief. I think so often we avoid them because they're harmful and we know they're harmful, but we have to look at them.
But they're running the show.
That's right. We have to look at them to be
Yes.
able to reprogram them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's good stuff.
So, yeah, those are definitely two of Beth and my favorite practices.
Yes.
The 2-word check-in, affirmations. So just try to embody these in your day-to-day life, whether...
And I love how you said embody. Once again, you show how the emotional self lives in the physical body, that emotional and somatic
body. And to that end, I mean... It's not just the body and emotions that are connected. Our mind, our thoughts are deeply connected to how we feel,
limiting beliefs,
what sensations. Right.
That's
That's where the beliefs come from. Mm-hmm. And I think in schools, we so often think of cognitive intelligence as like all about thinking. I think it's super limited and narrow.
It's just based on subject matter, right? It's this subject,
math,
that subject,
science,
this subject.
literacy. Memorization, standardized testing, multiple choice, one answer.
Performance skill set after performance skill set after performance skill set.
I'm like, this is the bottom of Bloom's taxonomy. I mean, we're talking about like rote memorization and one right way. That has nothing to do with tapping into our innate creativity to like literally co-creating new possibilities and then bringing those to life. And at Breathe for Change, that's the North Star of cognitive intelligence, our creativity. And in order to tap into that, we have to be able to focus our attention and to critically think, especially with so much information coming our way, and make responsible decisions and collaborate effectively. Mm-hmm. And I think it really starts with our ability to focus, which is so hard.
And it's getting harder.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all the technology.
Yes.
All of the to-do lists.
The speed at which life is moving alone.
1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so at Breathe for Change, in the cognitive intelligence umbrella, our first competency is exactly that. It's focus.
Yeah.
And we really encourage you as you move into the school year and keep on going throughout the school year, that you think about, how do you protect your field?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, say more about that. This is a good one.
This is one of my favorite practices that we teach in the Masters, because I think so often we do not take into consideration how much our environment impacts our focus, impacts our ability to experience well-being, to effectively teach, to be in relationship. Mm-hmm. And protecting the field is about, first and foremost, thinking about what are the things that naturally pull my attention. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's my phone.
Yep.
Gosh, all of the notifications, the texts coming through, the social media, like all the things that just pop in. I mean, it even just being next to me while I'm like working throughout the day, it's constant distraction. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's a purpose for it. And how do I protect my field? Like my co-founder, Michael, is like, turn off your notifications. So I was like,
that scares me.
When I did it, it was like
beautiful. My
nervous system is like so much more settled.
Of course.
And then I notice, I don't know about you, but when I get super stressed or anxious, which happens all the time, because I'm human, it gets messy around me.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's part of my ADHD too, is like just all of a sudden there's clothes on the floor. Mm-hmm. There's like wrappers of food I ate yesterday. Mm-hmm. It's like it kind of surfaces. Mm-hmm. And then I end up like cleaning crazily. But if you're actually engaging in a consistent practice of protecting the field, it's like before you start your day every day, noticing your environment and then literally doing the things that you need to do to protect your space.
That's right. You're setting yourself up for success.
How do you do that?
You know, one of the things that I actually learned early on that I needed to have a limit to where the work day ended. And I didn't bring work home. Because you bring work home, you're not plugged in your present moment in your home.
Yes.
You are not, even if you, because so many of the times that I would bring the work home, I wouldn't touch it, but it was always sitting there.
Cognitive intelligence.
Yes. Always sitting there, not being done, taking up space, making noise.
Well, and you're actually talking about another practice that we have, which is shine your spotlight.
Correct.
And so shining your spotlight is about exactly what you're referring to, which is where am I choosing to focus my attention?
The priority. Where is the current priority? And it's going to change through the day.
Right.
But we get to decide where that priority, literally a spotlight. That's why I love the name of this one.
It's so good.
Because you can visualize it.
Yes.
And the thing is that spotlight is going to get bumped through the day.
Oh, there's...
Right. Everything's moving around you so fast. Yeah. But as soon as you notice that spotlight is way over here, I need to bring it back to this current task at hand.
Exactly.
We have the ability to do that.
And so when we practice both of these strategies, shine your spotlight, which is choosing where you want to direct your attention, right? Yep. You have control over that. The world no longer has control over that. All the sources of distraction. It's like, I am owning this. I'm taking agency back.
That's right.
I'm focusing on my conversation with Beth right now.
Correct.
Or I am focusing on this next hour of teaching math. Or I am focusing on my husband right now. I'm turning off school for now, right? And then obviously, to your point, that spotlight, but back to the to-do list, or back to me thinking about my student, or back to me worrying about something tomorrow.
All the time.
But then I go, my spotlight is no longer where I want it to be. It's in that moment of awareness, and you just go boop, back to Beth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the practice.
And as long as, if we have protected that field, there's less bumping of the spotlight happening.
Exactly.
So they really do go together
hand
in tandem.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then, the other practice within the umbrella of cognitive intelligence that I think is so relevant for us as educators, especially thinking about setting ourselves up for the school year, is problem? No problem.
Oh, this is a good one. This one is hard. This one is hard, but it's so valuable.
Right. Because let's be honest, we're educators. We are coming into contact with new challenges, new issues every single day, multiple times a day.
And I think within our professional culture, sadly, there is an undercurrent, almost an expectation to focus on the problem.
Yep.
We're always looking for what is wrong, what is not working. And you know what? To our credit, it's because we are problem solvers by nature.
Yes.
But we don't always take into account that several of these issues that we carry around as ours, we have absolutely no control over.
Well, and that's why this practice of problem, no problem is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because at least for me as an educator, it feels like, gosh, I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. Like my kids' mental health challenges, like what's happening in their home lives, what's happening in my home life, like all this
what's happening in the world at large. Yeah.
Let's be honest. The world is in a difficult spot.
Yeah.
And that we carry that with us.
Yep.
But there's only so much that we actually have real control
today,
over,
right here,
like,
right
what
now.
What can I do right now? And so the way that this practice works is first, you just identify, what is the challenge or the issue or the quote problem that needs solving or that you're experiencing in this moment. And then you have to ask yourself, what is in my control? And more importantly, what is not in my control? And even that part of this process can feel so freeing.
Yes.
It's like the weight lifts, it lightens at least. The load lightens because all of a sudden, you're like 96% of the things that I was worried about, I can't take action on.
No, and at a certain point, it's just helpful to accept it.
Yeah. or else it's debilitating.
Yep.
Yeah. And so you ask that question. And then from that place of awareness of the things you have control over and the things that you don't, then you jot down a list of what are some actions you can take to address the problem. But it's through that lens. You cannot skip that step of the control.
Yep.
Or else we're going to be like trying to solve world peace today.
Yeah.
As one person.
And we get stuck. And you talk about an energetic drain. And it's hard. It is hard to recognize that we can't fix it all.
Right.
There is that we do attempt to put on those superhero capes and swoop in and we're going to fix it all.
For sure.
You know what? There is something deeply humbling and deeply connective about recognizing that we as humans just have to do what we can in the current moment. And that is beautiful for ourselves, but it also does provide that condensed action step list where we can go ahead and make effective change right here, right now.
Right here, right now.
Yeah.
And the thing about problem, no problem is after you answer the question, what do I have control over and what do I not? And you start creatively, I mean, outside the box
anything
answers,
that comes up.
Anything is possible here. You do not try and overthink this. This is where you're tapping into your innate creativity and you're just like, I could do this and I could do this and I can do that and I can do this. Then you sit with the list. It might be 3 things. It might be 10. It might be 20. You could just a few minutes and you don't overthink. You don't overanalyze. You just write or you speak it. Then you look at the list and you go, wow, I want to do this one. Or it might be like you're combining like 2 are interesting and you're like, actually, I'm not going to do a 10-minute meditation like I wrote every day to address my stress and burnout, if that's like the problem that you're trying to face. I'm actually going to change that. And the thing I'm going to do is a 1-minute meditation every day.
Yep. Make it
and then
accessible.
You just take the next step. You commit to something, some action that's going to help solve the problem. And then it's problem, no problem. You're actually moving in the direction towards making progress.
That's right.
And progress is the access to possibility.
You know, and this is even when I've done this practice, at times what has come up is when I thought there were things that were in the locus of my control and I realized, wait a minute, maybe not so much. What became clear was who I needed to bring it to.
Give me an example.
Well, for example, when we are looking at maybe a classroom dynamic and maybe the tools that I have, the teaching tools, the curriculum is not functioning with what my kids need to be learning in this moment. I need to go and I need to adapt this lesson and it's very time consuming and I'm constantly trying to recreate the wheel. What really needs to happen is I need to bring this to my leader and say, hey, this isn't functioning anymore. It looks like there's a curriculum adoption. There's something bigger that needs to change here because if I'm having this problem in my classroom with this particular teaching tool, it's entirely possible and probable the other teachers are having the same problem. And something larger needs to take place system-wide.
Right.
Yeah.
And notice in that example, you recognize that you weren't going to be the one to change the whole systemic problem, so to speak. But you could take one action, which is communicate the challenge, and then it's no longer yours. It's in the hands of the leaders who have more control, so to speak, over the curriculum. And so, right, all of us in our personal and our professional lives, challenges arise every day. And so you can just go through this process. Okay, here is the issue at hand. And oftentimes that in and of itself is enormously healing because these issues, they feel so big. We don't even know what we're concerned about in the first place because they just feel so big. And this is kind of somatic intelligence. Our bodies are reacting.
Correct.
And so if you can hone in on what the challenge is, then think about what's actually in your control, what's not, then actually come up with some solutions, actions, and then choose a simple next one. Then you keep going through that cycle over and over and over again. Wow.
Yeah. You're moving forward now.
You're moving forward. And it becomes the way that you address challenges in general and make effective decisions.
And we don't stay stuck.
Oh,
that freeze state that comes when we feel powerless.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets to melt away.
Totally.
Yeah.
So those are 3 practices that you can draw on for cognitive intelligence, right? Protecting your field,
beautiful,
the environment, setting yourself up, preventing distractions, and then
honing that focus,
shining your spotlight. And problem?
Nope.
No problem. We don't need those.
Love it.
And the next layer we have is
relational. I know this one is so highly important in any social environment. And I would argue it's like it may be more important in any classroom context than just about any community anywhere.
Well, and it starts with us.
Yeah.
And I think so often in education, right, we think about the beginning of the school year, we think, okay, building relationships, building community. Don't worry, that's what next week's episode is about. We're going to get there. But I think we can, as givers, give all of ourselves so quickly in relationships, whether it's relationships to our students, our colleagues, all the families we work, our own loved ones, that like we forget what our boundaries are, or we never even set up any boundaries or clarify our needs or pay attention to that in the first place.
Well, and with educators, it's almost a bad word. Like there's almost a cultural expectation to overgive.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's just as really, it can just be so perpetual that we all just end up, that's compassion fatigue, right? That's where we land.
Totally. And so we have so many relational intelligence strategies to teach you over the next several back to school episodes. And we're starting with staying anchored.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Staying anchored really is just about maintaining your own peace, maintaining your own boundaries. We naturally are expected and have to be a good educator. We have to be in an empathetic state on the regular basis. Like there's no escaping it. That is how we create relationship in our classrooms.
Well, and it's the beauty of who we are as educators.
Precisely.
We love connecting with other people and being in their lives and supporting them, especially in hard times. I mean, that's who we are as educators.
And we relish in it.
We love it,
until we find ourselves in compassion fatigue.
Exactly.
And we find ourselves drained. And once we're in that space, empathy is unreachable. It's not something we can garner anymore.
Possible.
And so the way through that is to be able to continue empathizing, continue to stay in that open, gracious space. We really do need to be setting boundaries for ourselves. And so step 1 is to find maybe where we're overreaching. Maybe we don't even know a boundary belongs there yet. So we have to get curious about where am I overextending? And once we find that space, maybe it's with our students, maybe it's with our friends, maybe it's with our coworkers or even at home, right? I know that when I first went back after being home with my boys, when I first went back to work, I also thought, well, now I can still maintain the house by myself. I can still do all the grocery shopping by myself. I can still, because why not? I've always done this. I drained so quickly. That was a boundary I didn't know needed to be there. And so I had to, and I could no longer empathize with anybody at home because I was mad at them all the time and they had no idea why. Which is really unfair, right? For everyone involved. And so the boundary needed to be set of these are our shared responsibilities. This is how we will go about, recognizing whose responsibility is whose. And the next thing you know, empathy can come back into this situation and we can be connective again.
And I think, right, it's such a beautiful time, the beginning of the school year as we're transitioning into yet another year to like go through a reflective process. It's like thinking about like what I know myself, where do I naturally overgive, overextend? Where does my energy get drained? Like, how can I, in those moments, stay more anchored? And then even more importantly, what can I do proactively to allow myself to not get to the point where I reach overextension?
That's right.
Burnout. And if you think through that process in self-reflection, how do I stay anchored this year? Just start there. Journal about it. Talk to your friends about it, your family, your colleagues, and set up some structures. Again, this is kind of connected to protecting the field.
100%.
How do you stay anchored, not just in the moments where like there's a lot of activity, but more proactively, right? Mm-hmm. This is a beautiful time because we don't have to be reactive. We're setting up structures for the school year.
Yes.
So how do you sustainably stay anchored, knowing your tendencies? And each of our tendencies are totally different.
Yes. And just because you've had the capacity to do something through your summer where you aren't working full time, perhaps, recognize that we're not staying in that space.
No.
We're going back into a full-time area here. What didn't I allow myself to draw a boundary with last year that I could gift myself with this year? And what boundaries do I need to revisit and ensure that they are stabilized before stepping back into that full-time role?
100%. I mean, for me, I know exactly what it is. It's like, I get excited by any new idea. So someone comes to me about anything and they're like, oh my gosh, do you want to do this with me? And I'm like, yes. And I never take a moment of pause to actually ask myself, is this something that I want to commit to? Can I really commit to it? Can I follow through?
Huge.
And then I get so overwhelmed by the fact that now I have all these responsibilities that I know I can't fulfill, but then I'm too scared to go back on my word, but then I can't actually do anything. And so it's like me staying anchored is in those moments when people are sharing something that excites me or asking me to be involved, it's actually not saying yes in the moment.
Yeah.
Giving myself till tomorrow to sit with it. And then to actually ask myself, am I a hell yes or am I a no?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not a hell yes, then it's not a thing.
That's
I can't do it. I don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
So that's just an example of, for me, how I might practice stay anchored, and then I can apply it in real moments.
It's so good. I know. And for me, it's just because I have the capacity to do something. Mm-hmm. Is it a sustainable? Like right here, right now, I know what I can manage, but looking forward and knowing that the unknown is coming, maybe I could scaffold in a little bit more support than maybe I even feel I need at this point. Because I can always pull back, but it's much harder to ask for more help when you're starting to feel depleted than it is to say, I got this. I got you. Let me step in and be that, So ensuring that you have not just what you necessarily need, but maybe even a little bit of a buffer because you don't quite know what this next school year, how it's going to unravel or unfold yet. Yeah.
Well, and this practice of staying anchored is so connected to the other relational intelligence practice that I love thinking through, especially at the beginning of the school year, which is desires, fears, and requests.
It's beautiful.
I will never forget when my co-founder, Michael, taught me this. It was like either before we started Breathe for Change or like in the very beginning. And we've used it for over a decade together to literally co-create Breathe for Change. It's like how it works is you first think about what are my desires, fears, and requests related to the situation or whatever it is that you're working through in a relationship. And then you can communicate that. And so like, for example, with you, I might say, my desire today is to have these dropped in, inspiring conversations with you and to feel so connected. My fear is that we're going to lose sight of like the intention of each episode and then we might get like caught on a different pathway that doesn't necessarily support educators in this moment of time.
Yeah.
And my request is that you support me in staying connected to our purpose and our why of each episode.
It's so beautiful. That's so good. Yeah. And it gives an anchoring point for how to move forward.
Exactly. In any relationship. And you can use this, once you're clear about how you want to stay anchored, right? There's desires there that you have. There's fears about it. Like my desire is to say no or to pause before I say yes this year. And my fear is that I'm going to get lost in the moment. I'm not going to be able to do it and that you're going to get mad at me for it.
That's right.
And my request is that if you notice I say yes immediately to something you ask me to do, if you could just say, Ilana, are you sure about this? Do you want more time to think about it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can bring these kind of goals that you have for yourself into conversation, into relationship.
Yeah.
And nothing feels more connected than that.
No, and I think too, so often as educators, we are looking at the desires and the priorities of other. And so infrequently do we even examine or wonder what the desires of the self are. And so I do want to front load this practice with, if you can't hear that voice yet, that's okay.
Yeah.
The more you ask and allow space, it will begin to speak. It took me a while to hear and recognize that voice. That's okay. It's there. It has just learned to be very quiet.
And the purpose of this practice, first and foremost, is not to communicate your desires, fears, and boundaries. It's to know them.
Yes.
Yes. That is such an important part of it. And it's the foundation. And if that's all you can do, beautiful. If you're not ready to communicate, fine.
Yeah.
But you're connected to it. And then as you get more confident with your desires, your fears, and your boundaries, then it's going to naturally...
It'll start taking up space.
It's just going to take up space.
Yes.
Beautiful. And it becomes the way you talk. Like literally, it's just at this point, like in our relationship, we're just constantly communicating our desires, fears, and requests with each other.
And it makes our path very clear.
Yeah, totally.
And what's beautiful about that is you're talking about desires, and that there's another access point there when we're talking about desire. And I think we all as educators can connect to this. It is this world of education, right? This larger being that encompasses all of us, that's bigger than all of us. And that just beautifully brings us right into this last area we want to go of universal intelligence, which is that connective piece to something that is so much larger than we are. And we all have that inner, and we can all just take a minute right now and connect to our highest purpose when it comes to being an educator. We all feel it. It's a pull. There's a pull. We don't stumble into this career.
No.
This career comes and gets us.
Yes.
And that's where we land in universal intelligence.
Yeah, it really is a practice of transforming from the inside out.
Yeah.
Which is why I just so love the meditation or the guided practice or the reflection of loving kindness.
Probably the most profound. This one brings me to tears almost every time.
Literally every time I do this with you, Beth, you're crying.
I know. This one gets me. It's an access point.
And the reason why it's so profound, this practice of loving kindness, is because we move from loving ourselves to loving others in our lives, to loving the larger community, to loving all beings in the world. No matter who they are.
All that is. Yes.
All that is. It's that connection to something greater.
Yeah.
And you want to lead us through that process?
Oh my gosh, if I can. I do. Yeah, I do.
While sobbing, maybe?
I love it. I don't know, when I lead it, I can have a little bit more.
Yeah, composure.
It's a better container for me to hold in. Yes, find a comfortable space.
Maybe I'll cry this time.
It's possible. It's possible. So find that comfortable space. This one can feel a little vulnerable. So whatever comfort looks for you in that space, find that. And just breathe into yourself. And recognize this tender, beautiful, deserving to be cherished human that you are right here, right now. And knowing just how beautifully human we are, I invite you to give yourself this collection of wishes. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. And may I be free. And truly receiving that to the self from the self. Holding that in your being, I invite you to bring someone spectacular in your life, your person. Maybe it's a collection of people, but those heart song individuals that just light up your life, bring them into your presence, your awareness. See them in front of you and offer them the same wishes. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be free. And fully breathing into the knowing that they have received this, you can release that and then bring in the larger collective community, whichever community you are a part of that you wish to generate this sort of loving kindness towards. Just bring them into your presence, into your forethought here. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we be safe. May we be free. Now expanding out to whatever awareness you can hold of all the sentient beings, all that ever was, ever is, ever will be. Expand out as large as you can. And holding space for that, may we all be healthy. May we all be happy. May we all be safe. May we all be free. And breathing that in, knowing you are just as a profound piece of this as anyone else. And exhaling fully, holding on to the beauty of this moment. You can come on back into the space. That one is just so expansive.
And it transforms you from the inside out.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And, if you're ever feeling stressed, overwhelmed, burdened, just like there's too much, right? We know that as educators, we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, and do the loving kindness practice.
Yeah.
It just...
And if you're
healing,
if you're ever stuck in a specific conflict or an old wound with someone, there's a version of this practice where we can pull in that challenging individual and we can offer them these healing thoughts. And there is something that tends to cut the cord of attachment to that stuckness and truly can begin to set us free. Yeah.
And as you mentioned earlier, Beth, really universal intelligence, and I would argue our role as educators, it's about purpose.
Calling.
Connecting to something so meaningful in this lifetime. And that's really what one of my favorite universal intelligence practices that we teach in our masters is all about, like, hopes and dreams. And as you're starting the school year, I think there's no better time to connect to your hopes and dreams and to think about what are your hopes and dreams as an educator, as a leader, as a human being, and specifically, what are your hopes and dreams for the school year?
Yeah.
Because it's really from that place of inspiration that the calling can lead the way.
That's right.
We can, do all the to-dos that we have to do, but like be connected to our purpose.
Yeah. And if we can allow, we are all very service oriented, right?
Yeah.
That's part of this purpose. That's part of this universal intelligence is how can I be of service to this thing that is larger than the self? And to be able to reconnect to what our hopes and dreams truly and organically and authentically are. From that point, we can find how we wish to best serve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's end with that. What do you think?
I love it.
All right. So my friends listening to this episode, it is your moment to connect to your hopes and dreams. So if this feels best to do with a paper and a pen, you can get out a paper and a pen and you reflect. If this feels best to do in a inward meditation, you can close your eyes or find a steady gaze. And if you're driving or moving, you can just connect.
Yeah.
And so just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And as you connect to your breath, I invite you to just really think about what are your hopes and dreams for yourself this year as an educator. And if it helps to think about what your hopes and dreams are for your whole career, you can do that too. But just connecting to what is it that you desire out of this year? What is it that feels inspiring to you? What is it that you want to do? And more importantly, who do you want to be this year? What impact do you want to have? What are your hopes and dreams? And then I invite you to fast forward to the end of the year. It's graduation day, the last day of school. And you have fulfilled these hopes and dreams and so much more. What's happening? How have you impacted people? What have you experienced? What did the year look like? What did it sound like? What did it feel like? And just relishing in that, celebrating these hopes and dreams and your impact. And then come right back to the present moment and say to yourself, I deserve these hopes and dreams. I can and I will fulfill them. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale, exhale, breathe in, out with a huge sigh. Beautiful. If your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. Bottom line for me, what are your hopes and dreams this year?
I am hoping to foster this sense of sustainability inside education at large in my school, my district culture.
Starting with this podcast.
That's right. Like, so going from what I've experienced with myself, bringing that out to the greater culture. Both, I mean, I love that we have this access point here for educators everywhere. I'm imagining a collective experience for my boots on the ground district and to physically be in embodied space with them.
And my hopes and dreams are that every educator who comes across this movement feels like they've had a life-changing experience, and not just for themselves, but for their whole communities. And so just like what you said.
Beautiful.
Love it. So y'all have a beautiful start to your school year.
Yes, you are ready.
And now you've got this toolkit for your own well-being. So we did the 5 layers of human intelligence, starting with somatic intelligence. So you've got your 3 collective breaths that you can take in any moment. And you also have the beginning, middle, and end of day practice where you can do those 3 collective breaths and then set your intention, find your word, and then embody that through movement. Then in emotional intelligence, you've got the 2-word check-in, right? Consistently come back, ask yourself how you feel, and then do your affirmation practice. Come back to it, say those beliefs, those empowering messages to yourself. And then in cognitive intelligence, you've got protect the field.
Important.
So important. Shine your spotlight, pick where you want to focus and keep your spotlight there. And then problem.
No problem.
Right? We're doing what's in our locus of control. And then relational intelligence, right? We're starting with stay anchored.
Absolutely. Set those boundaries.
Set those boundaries. And from that place of anchoredness, so to speak, connecting to your desires, your fears, and your requests. And then finally,
loving kindness, universal.
Universal. This is the beauty, the connection to something greater, loving kindness.
So healing, so healing.
And keeping those hopes and dreams alive, right?
Absolutely.
Documenting them, coming back to them, having your daily intention practice be a source of you fulfilling your larger hopes and dreams for yourself for that day.
Beautiful. Let those hopes and dreams lead you.
Love it. So we hope that this was meaningful and valuable to you and can't wait for you to put these into action.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.